Over the years, the Sardas received several strange tips. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence they ever received was a photograph mailed to them in 1967. The postmark was from Kentucky, and the photo showed a young man in his 20s who bore a striking resemblance to their son Louis, who would have been about that age. On the back of the photo was a cryptic message. The family hired a private investigator who traced leads down to the Miami area, believing the person in the photo might be living there under a new identity. But the trail went cold. The Soda parents passed away without ever knowing what happened to their 5 children, leaving behind one of America's most enduring and heartbreaking mysteries. Coming in at number 4 is the unsettling death of Charles C. Morgan. In March 1977, Morgan, a Tucson, Arizona escrow agent, vanished. He reappeared 3 days later, disheveled and traumatized, claiming he had been kidnapped and tortured. He spoke of secret work he was doing for a shadowy government agency and showed his family a $2 bill with cryptic notes and a Spanish map drawn on it. Fearing for his life, he wore a bulletproof vest and was constantly armed. Then, he disappeared again. 3 months later, his body was found near his car in a remote desert area. He had been shot in the back of the head. A $2 bill was found pinned to his underwear. Authorities initially ruled his death a suicide, a conclusion his family fiercely rejected. The Miami connection enters through the investigation into his business dealings. It was discovered that Morgan was allegedly involved in laundering money for organized crime syndicates, some of which had deep roots in operations in Miami. The theory is that Morgan got in over his head, knew too much, and was silenced. The cryptic notes, the claims of secret agencies, and the ties to Miami's underworld create a web of intrigue that feels like something straight out of a spy novel. To this day, the true circumstances surrounding Charles Morgan's death remain a subject of intense debate and speculation. Finally, we arrive at our 5th and perhaps most notorious Miami mystery, the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. The former president of the Teamsters Union was one of the most powerful and controversial figures in American labor history. On July 30, 1975, Hoffa went to meet with 2 mob figures at a restaurant in suburban Detroit and was never seen again. He was declared legally dead in 1982. For decades, the search for his body has become a part of American folklore. The FBI has chased down hundreds of leads, digging up farms, backyards, and even underneath a swimming pool. The Miami connection is central to the entire story. Hoffa had deep and complex ties to the mafia, particularly the powerful organized crime families that operated out of South Florida. Many of the key players in his disappearance had strong connections to Miami. Theories suggest that Hoffa was trying to regain power in the Union, a move that threatened the mob's control over the Teamsters' vast pension fund, which they used to finance casinos in Las Vegas and other ventures. Over the years, numerous informants have claimed Hoffa's body was flown to Florida, possibly buried in the Everglades or even encased in the concrete of a construction project. Despite countless theories and deathbed confessions, no trace of Jimmy Hoffa has ever been found.